Theresa Caputo, a medium from Long Island, has been physically frail and pretty sick lately. However, when her ex-husband Larry Caputo unexpectedly visits her home, Theresa is filled with hatred and wrath. "You will not come near me, Larry," Theresa warned in a shaky but forceful voice when she saw Larry in front of her. "I really despise you. My life has been ruined by you. Get out of my house now. I don't want to see you ever again." Larry felt Theresa's comments stab him in the heart. His face became white with hurt and insult, but he remained silent and turned around slowly. The door closing was the only sound to break the brief silence, and Larry silently departed the house. Even though Theresa was still standing there crying, she was adamant that Larry would never again have a place in her life. Theresa Caputo had always felt that she had a unique power, derived not just from her skills as a medium, but also from the bravery that life had compelled her to develop. But as she leant feebly against the threshold of her Long Island house on that chilly fall afternoon, she experienced a frailty she had never experienced before. She had been emotionally, mentally, and physically exhausted by her illness during the last few months. Even the often colorful and fierce Long Island medium appeared to be dulled by fatigue. The only sounds in the house were the faint ticking of a wall clock and the gentle hum of the heating system. Theresa covered herself with a blanket and made her way slowly to the living room. Doctors had recommended rest, and her daughter Victoria had asked that she only let family in. As a result, she'd been anticipating no guests. Thus, the sound of the doorbell's piercing ring broke through the silence like lightning. Theresa hesitated. A peculiar uneasiness crept up her back. After a moment of hesitation and shaky breathing, she pushed herself forward. Every ounce of power left her body as she opened the door. And there stood Larry Caputo. She had assumed she would never have to deal with this ghost from her past. He had no smile on his face. The wind pressed against his back as he stood, both hands jammed into his coat pockets, as if the weather itself desired his departure. When he noticed Theresa's fragile state, pale skin, shaking hands, the obvious signs of illness, his eyes softened. "Theresa," Larry said in a low, almost contrite voice. However, Theresa immediately took a step back and clutched the doorknob as if her life depended on it. 1,000 memories flashed through her mind, both joyous and painful, as well as ones she prayed she could forget. The treachery, the heartache, the quiet evenings following his departure. Long after the divorce, she could still feel the loneliness in her house. Her chest constricted, and despite her efforts to control her breathing, her emotions overcame her. "Larry, you won't get close to me," she spoke in a steely, tremulous voice. "I detest you so much." Larry's face fell apart. She saw his eyes deepen with shame, his shoulders slump, and his breath catch. However, Theresa wasn't done yet. Her words cut through the atmosphere as she said, "You have ruined my life. Leave my house. I don't want to see you ever again. Right now." Larry's face briefly appeared as if he had been hit. A man who had once been self-assured, boisterous, and a part of her daily existence now stood small, like a shadow eroding beneath her words. His voice failed him, but his lips opened as though he wanted to utter something, anything. He merely gave a barely noticeable nod. Their mutual stillness became oppressive. At last, Larry turned away. With regret weighing him down like a stone-filled bag, he walked slowly. Theresa's eyes followed him with the icy clarity of someone who has gone through too much to let the past come back, but not with longing. When he got to the doorframe, he hesitated for a while, as though he was expecting for a miracle, and that she would shout his name. She didn't. With a last, gentle click, the door closed behind him, and the sound reverberated uncomfortably across the corridor. It was the sound of endings, the kind that wounds the spirit rather than the flesh. Theresa's hands trembled uncontrollably as she stayed still for a few seconds. Tears streamed down her cheeks when she was unable to contain herself. However, those weren't weakening tears. They were tears of relief, of years of suppressed pain at last finding a way out. Breathing deeply, she leant against the wall. She sensed a change within herself despite her weak state. They had drawn a line. Larry would never cross that boundary again. As though addressing the ghost she had always trusted as much as herself, she said to the empty room, "He will never again have a place in my life." With his head lowered against the wind, Larry strolled along the driveway outside. He knew he had lost the right, so he didn't glance back. not because he didn't want to. Her words had buried anything he had hoped for, be it forgiveness, closure, or another opportunity. Theresa went back inside, wiped away her tears, inhaled deeply, and moved deeper into her house. She experienced an odd sensation of calm for the first time in a long time. Even as it hurt, she had decided. One last one. Theresa Caputo, weak, unwell, but unwaveringly determined, realized that she had finally taken back her life amid the silent, frail silence of her Long Island home. But inside a busy talk show set in New York, the studio lights flickered softly. The air was thick with expectancy as the walls glistened with radiant gold. The most well-known medium on Long Island, Theresa Caputo, who had the recognizable blonde hair that made her stand out from a distance, sat with assurance on the velvet interview couch. She crossed her legs, her posture relaxed but straight, her heels clicking quietly. Today, however, was different. Readings, ghosts, and emotional reunions were not the focus of today. Theresa Caputo was the focus of today. Her life, her history, her errors, her aspirations, and the message she wishes she could have whispered to her younger self. Leaning forward, the host inquired, "What advice would you give to the younger Theresa from Hicksville, the person you used to be if you could?" Theresa took a slow breath. There was a rare hush. The audience sensed the change as well. The woman was looking for healing words for herself after spending decades assisting others in healing. The studio abruptly vanished as Theresa closed her eyes. She was no longer the seasoned medium with 1,000 life lessons under her belt. She was that sensitive, anxious youngster who always felt odd, the daughter who had an intuition that other children didn't, the girl who suffered from severe anxiety, the girl who believed that something was amiss. Then her expression softened with a smile. "I would say," Theresa started, "Dear Theresa," the younger, "the very thing that makes you feel weird, your sensitivity, is also your superpower, even though you aren't aware of it yet. You'll grow up believing that you're too anxious, too stressed, or too emotional. However, those same emotions will eventually aid in the healing of millions more others." The audience fell silent. "You will be made fun of. They will tell you that your voice is too loud, your jewelry is too much, and your hair is too huge. Don't pay attention." She giggled and gave her blonde bangs a dramatic flick, saying, "Your hair is going to be famous one day." And that loud voice, those who haven't smiled in years will find solace in this voice. She took a deep breath. "You will experience intense love, but you will ultimately fail. You will lose connections, people you care about, and occasionally even yourself. But every setback will teach you something, my love. Every pause will make room for the healing of another person." For the first time, her voice faltered. "Every now and again, you'll break down. And it's all right. You get to rebuild yourself stronger, smarter, and bolder when you fall apart." Like scenes from a movie, Theresa's youth flashed before her. Theresa, a teenage girl, was crying while sitting by herself on her bed because she couldn't figure out why she was feeling this way. Theresa is a young married woman attempting to juggle the overwhelming intuitive messages from the other side with being a mother. A recently well-known Theresa is terrified of being judged, of failing, and of disappointing others. She went on to say, "I tell my younger self that fear is not the enemy. Fear is an indication that you are going to mature. The magic happens in the unknown. Thus, it's a sign that you are about to venture into it." As recollections of her life came flooding back, her countenance softened once more. Victoria and Larry Jr., her kids, are racing about the home. Before anyone knew her name, her ex-husband Larry was helping her. Her life was pulled in numerous directions by her problems as her celebrity developed. Her challenging divorce, the time she sobbed by herself, and her uncertainty about the future. Theresa remarked, "If I could look that younger version of myself in the eyes, I'd tell her, life will not turn out the way you had hoped. However, it will grow into something greater than you could have ever dreamed." She blinked while crying. "Although you may feel like you're breaking sometimes, you're actually changing." "Wait a minute," I would tell her that. "Keep on despite your anxiety. Wait through the confusion. You will eventually realize that you were never alone at all, so hold on even when you feel alone. Even when you didn't know how to trust yourself, Spirit was leading you." Such unvarnished honesty caught the host off guard. The audience, many of whom were now wiping tears, wasn't either. Theresa grinned and continued, And believe me, your hair will grow significantly higher. Don't fight it, then." The tension was broken by laughter. Then she became serious once more. She addressed the cameras saying, "If you're listening to this, keep in mind that one day your imperfections, eccentricities, and fears will be the aspects of you that shine the brightest. What you conceal will become what you assist others with. And the agony you now bear, it will turn into your best instructor." Theresa touched her heart with her hand. "I would advise younger Theresa to have faith in divine timing. All of her fears will ultimately bring her to her destination." But when Theresa Caputo entered the private reading room of her recently remodeled spiritual center, the sun had just begun to rise over Long Island. The subtle aroma of sage permeated the still air, and the gentle glow of golden lamps bounced off crystal shelves. It felt heavier, almost electric today. Even before her first session started, Theresa sensed a powerful spiritual presence. She whispered to herself as she laid out her cards on the table. "Someone's brother has been waiting and is already here." After a few seconds, the door opened. A woman in her early 40s entered. Elena Romano was a Queens-based social worker. Her eyes were puffy, displaying silent tears that she had stopped telling anybody about. She held her bag close to her chest, as though she was terrified that letting go might break her. "Come on in, sweetheart," Theresa murmured kindly. She spoke in a gentle, grounded tone that comforts you even before the reading starts. Elena sat down and drew a shaky breath. I'm anxious," she said. "That's all right," Theresa chuckled and continued. "Spirit has been yapping in my ear since before you entered the room." She tilted her head and said, "And I'm already getting a male energy. Someone who passed suddenly. He's demonstrating to me that he is your brother." Elena's face immediately sagged, tears streaming down her cheeks. "I lost my brother Michael 7 months ago." On the final syllable, her voice broke. Theresa softly touched Elena's hand. "Honey, he's been making a lot of effort to get your attention." The room's atmosphere changed. With her eyes half closed as if she were listening to someone just behind her, Theresa straightened her shoulders. "He says he wants to talk to me. He has been anticipating this time." Elena let out a sob and covered her mouth. "Please let me know if he's all right. I must be certain that he is at peace." Theresa gave a nod. "He is. However, he also asserts that you aren't. He's demonstrating to me how you place the blame on yourself, how you relive every discussion you had with him over those final weeks." Elena muttered, "Because I wasn't there. I promised to call him back, but work got in the way. He left the following day. I keep wondering that perhaps he needed me, even though the police say it was a vehicle accident. Perhaps he felt isolated." Theresa touched her chest and took a sharp breath. "He just yelled at me, darling. Tell her to stop blaming herself." Elena's tears were interrupted by a startled laugh. Theresa's voice changed to one of firmness, intensity, and power. "You were my best friend," he says. "My anchor was you. I knew you loved me all along. That is the only thing that counts." He's demonstrating to me that, despite your busy schedule, he always felt reassured when your phone called. Elena's hands were pressed against her face. "Theresa, I really miss him. The sole remaining member of my family was him." On the table, Theresa laid both of her hands flat. "He is aware, and now he's showing me something really significant." Her face softened, her eyebrows raised slightly as if she were witnessing a spiritual memory, and she was listening once more. "He's pointing out a small wooden boat to me, on a lake? Are you aware of what that implies?" Elena gave a gasp. "That was from our childhood. We used to go fishing with our dad. Michael assured me that a small wooden sailboat he had made would always bring me good fortune." She started crying uncontrollably. "I still possess it." Theresa grinned. "He claims to have advised you to hold on to it. He's telling me that it's a sign from him. It's his way of saying, 'I'm here,' whenever you see or even consider that boat." "I never abandoned you." Elena gripped her heart tightly. "I believed I was dreaming." "Oh, no, my dear." Theresa inhaled. "Spirit doesn't let us imagine these things. Additionally, he is displaying feathers to me. White feathers. Have you been able to locate them?" "Everywhere," Elena said in a whisper. "In my office, in my car, on my doorway, etc. It struck me as odd," Theresa remarked plainly. "That's him. Your brother is trying to attract your attention by using them. He claims that he wants you to know that he is not only all right, but also free. free from all the responsibilities he carried in solitude, free from suffering, free from anxiety. Elena's shoulders trembled deeply as pain and relief mixed together in her chest. Theresa leaned forward once again. He's also letting me know that you've been having dreams about him. 2 real feeling dreams. Elena gave a nod. Yes. He gives me a hug. However, I feel empty once more when I wake up. Theresa's eyes softened. My dear, the dreams are real. Spirit communicates through dreams what they are unable to express in the material world. He claims that he gives you a hug to make you feel secure. He wants you to move on, live your life guilt-free, and never forget him. Elena let those words sink in before closing her eyes. However, Theresa abruptly raised her hand, perhaps to halt someone. Oh my God, he's talking so quickly now. She laughed despite her feelings. I can't finish because of the typical brother enthusiasm. Elena gave a feeble smile. Theresa remarked, he wants to talk about your birthday. A significant milestone is approaching, and he wants you to enjoy it without feeling depressed. Elena dabbed at her cheeks. It will be my birthday in 3 weeks, Theresa stated. He intends to send you another sign. Something unmistakable. Something that will cause you to pause and recognize yourself as Michael. She hesitated. He wants you to know that I will be present. I will always remember her birthday. Elena's mouth quivered as she spoke. Michael, I adore you. Theresa shut her eyes once more. My dear, he heard you. He added that he loves you much more. He is now taking a step back, but not far away. Just off to the side, there was silence in the room. Theresa's eyes opened once again, human, warm, and grounded. Elena exhaled. Thank you. This means so much to me, you have no idea. Theresa squeezed her hand and grinned. You did the difficult part, honey. You arrived with an open mind. The remainder was done by your brother. Elena felt lighter than she had in months when she got up. She halted when she approached the door. When I miss him, what do I do? Softly, she inquired. With her characteristic warmth from Long Island, Theresa answered, Speak with him. It doesn't matter if you say it aloud or in your brain. Spirit listens to us, and every indication he gives you is his way of responding. But the View's bright studio lights hummed softly as producers hurried back and forth, getting ready for a somewhat unique show. Theresa Caputo, the well-known Long Island medium, was asked to read the energies of Ana Navarro and Sunny Hostin, 2 formidable co-hosts today. The seats in the audience quickly filled up, and people clutched their coffees and talked excitedly, wondering what secrets from the hereafter would be revealed. Theresa, with her trademark blonde hair done up like a halo, entered quietly yet boldly. She sensed the typical tingle across her shoulders even before she took the stage, indicating a high level of spirit activity. Excellent, she muttered, grinning. I can't even get to my seat first. Sunny Hostin tried to remain composed as she repositioned her earrings backstage. As a former federal prosecutor who trusted facts and evidence, she was renowned for her analytical and logical abilities. But secretly, she always had a sweet place for wonders of the world. She hoped Theresa may bring her a message from someone wonderful, even though she didn't acknowledge it. Conversely, Ana Navarro displayed her characteristic fierce humor. She joked to a producer, Look, I'm telling you, I'm walking off this set if my grandmother comes through and says I'm still stubborn. Everyone laughed, but nobody was aware of the depth of passion concealed in those jokes. Applause erupted as the famous opening song began to play, and the cameras panned in. Whoopi Goldberg welcomed everyone, then turned toward Theresa with loving interest. You've read about families, celebrities, and even skeptics, Theresa, honey. Today you have Anna and Sunny. Are you prepared for this? Theresa smiled. Since I woke up this morning, Spirit has been ready. The audience chuckled. Anna leant forward and gave a flirtatious wave of her hand. Theresa, go easy on me. I'm sensitive. Sunny rolled her eyes. You're about as delicate as a bulldozer, Anna. The audience burst out laughing. Theresa's eyes were half closed as she held her hands in front of her, palms wide. All right, let me tell you both that I'm already picking up a lot. The studio was silent. Sunny Hostin was the first person Theresa looked at. I have a gentleman coming forward, Sunny. Powerful energy, safeguarding. He claims to keep an eye on you every morning. Sunny's self-assured smile turned into a vulnerable one. Theresa went on. He talks about your courage, power, and voice when he adds, Tell her I'm proud of the woman she has become. Sunny has sparkling eyes. My dad, Theresa gave a soft nod. Indeed, something about how he used to advise you to maintain your strength and let your voice shine is depicted by him as a warm morning sun. Sunny let out a tear from the corner of her eye. She didn't usually cry in front of others, but this particular instance made her feel vulnerable. Additionally, he says that someone in the family recently discovered one of his belongings. A letter? A picture? Sunny gave a gasp. My mother found an old photo of him holding me as a baby just last week. She sent it to me by SMS. Many people in the audience wiped tears from their own eyes as they whispered softly. Theresa grinned broadly. He wants you to know he sent that. He claims that even when you doubted yourself, he needed you to see how cherished you have always been. Overwhelmed, Sunny covered her mouth. Theresa then turned to face Ana Navarro, who attempted to sit up straight while acting calm. Theresa grinned and remarked, Ana, you act all tough and sarcastic, but Spirit tells me you're a big mush inside. Ana started laughing. Oh, great. Even dead people think I'm emotional. The crowd let up a yell. Theresa's expression grew softer. A woman who is short, strong-willed, and highly opinionated is coming through. Ana gave a blink. Teresa, that's every woman in my family. That's true, Theresa chuckled, but this one is showing me a wooden spoon, as if she used it more for shouting than for cooking. Ana froze. My abuela. My grandmother. Theresa gave a nod. She claims that you still don't properly prepare her recipes. As the crowd erupted in laughter, Ana put both hands over her face. She would say that, my goodness, Theresa went on, her tone softening. She is expressing gratitude to you. She claims that even though it was difficult, you maintained the family's spirit, their courage, and their pride. Ana made a concerted effort to blink away the tears that filled her eyes. She displays a candle to me. Did you light one for her recently? Ana gave a slow nod. On her birthday last month, Theresa whispered, she was there. She claims that even from heaven you made her laugh. Ana dabbed at her cheek. Every day I miss her. And she is aware of it. Theresa's eyes widened as she abruptly raised her hand. Whoa, this is for both of you, and someone else is coming through. The hosts leant closer. Whoopi grew in interest as well. I hear sisters. Now, you're not blood sisters, but Spirit says you're connected through purpose. Sunny and Ana looked at one another in amazement. Theresa continued. This energy indicates that you two are on a mission together. It has to do with speaking up, empowering women, opposing injustice, and inspiring optimism. Sunny's hand moved slowly in Ana's direction. Ana gave it another squeeze. The transition was strong, unexpected, and emotional, and it affected the entire studio. Theresa gave a nod. You two were supposed to be seated at the same table, according to this spirit. Together, you are destined to bring about greater change than you may have thought. Greetings, dear viewers, and welcome to my channel. My name is Mina, and I hope you are having a wonderful day. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the video.